Hey guys, I finally got some packages in the mail. A lot of things I was waiting on, a lot of things I thought would have been here way earlier in the week, but at least a lot of it showed up today. Bad news, sad news. My front tires have been delayed on the exchange through the vendor on eBay. They were supposed to be here by around Thursday of this past week, and he had sent me a note late Thursday night saying something about my Tennessee warehouse had sold those tires, and now I'm going to have to resend them from my California warehouse. So fingers crossed that I'm not getting the runaround, that hopefully early next week or by the middle of next week I'll get those front runners. That whole thing has been such a weird fiasco of errors. I just don't know what to expect. I'm just hoping I get something in return. I'm just going to go over here and open all these packages and then show you what I ordered, why I ordered that particular part, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, I got all the unpackaging and unboxing done so we can just kind of roll through this stuff. Basically, we had lost somehow the clamp for my wastegate. I'm running a 44 millimeter wastegate, so I bought a new, I think this is Winton or something like that. They've been around a long time. I'm just hoping I ordered the right size, because I just went online and found a 44 millimeter wastegate clamp, but I wanted the kind that hinged on one side and had the strong bolt on this side. Just seems like they're a little bit easier to install, but proof's in the pudding whether it's going to work or not. Something that we thought might come in handy. These are one-way check valve fittings. So any of my like vacuum hoses that go maybe, I don't know, we were thinking but from the engine to the transmission for the modulator valve on the Turbo 400, or the vacuum hose that goes in and controls my blender doors and stuff for my heat and air. So I went ahead and bought, because they were cheap, trust me, I wouldn't have bought them if they wasn't too cheap, but I went ahead and bought some one-way check valves to kind of handle that situation on my vacuum source. When we're relocating all the hoses away from my radiator to get away from the hot side of the turbo, I end up needing a 45 degree fitting that screws into your overflow on the the neck of a radiator. Advanced Auto Parts was the cheapest place I found for it. It was like $5.99. But it's just a 1/8 MPT to, I believe it's like a 5/16 hose. Like I said, we're extending the heater hoses from where it comes out of the water pump towards the core support, and then around behind the headlight, and then following the fender back up to the heater core. So I went ahead and picked up a couple of these couplers. I've had good luck with these. I don't know if they're just copper plated or what they're made out of. They could be brass, but I was trying to see if it said on here. But I went ahead and picked up a 5/8 and a 3/4 for extending those hoses around the engine compartment. I've also picked up 6 feet each of the 5/8 and 3/4 Gates heater hose. That way I know I've got plenty of hose to route it where we want it to and make it look neat. Here's where I may or may not have messed up. Okay, I went online to the Sloppy Mechanics parts, like where they parts recommended or whatever they call it. This is the GM IAT sensor that he lists on the Sloppy Mechanics thing for use with the HB tuners. The problem is it's not threaded. So I'm kind of like, okay, that's weird. I should have noticed that. But apparently this is the one that everybody was just driving into the like fuel, the evap hole on the top of the truck intakes with RTV. It's kind of a bummer, because basically I ordered one of these kits that had the block off, the EGR, and the evap block off in it. Well, I used, if anybody watches that video of the update of the turbo, I've already installed the EGR Block Off, but my original plan was just to drill and tap this EGR Block Off piece and put my IAT sensor in it. But then I got to looking at it closer even before it got here today, and I was like, well, that's not really going to work because that's not threaded. So now I'm trying to decide the best way to put this through here, or do I need to just send this back or hold on to this and buy a different IAT? If you guys know what intake air temp sensor is compatible without any hiccups to the like HP tuners and all that, let me know. But this is the one that they recommended on the Floppy Mechanics recommended parts thing, and I even ordered the AC Delco original GM piece because I wanted to make sure it did what I wanted it to. So we'll kind of have to deal with that as we go. This is kind of a brainchild of mine. I'm going to be running what would you call it, like a catch can, like an open element catch can setup on the Blazer once the turbo's on. So basically, I ordered, which is not here, should have been here, one of the oil caps that goes from the LS oil cap to a -10 AN fitting. Then I'm going to come off of that cap and go up to the firewall with -10 line to my catch can with the open filter on top of it. The problem people were having was getting their -10 hose connected to the driver's side valve cover. Well, I got to looking at eBay the other night, and I was like, well, if they made a barb that was 3/4 on the bottom, which is the size of the outside diameter of your PCV valve, you could stick this into the PVC grommet and run your 5/8 or -10 line up to your catch can. So that's my plan, is to run this as my connection to the driver's side valve cover for my -10 catch can hose. Now, for this one, you know, I mentioned it in another video, but I'm still trying to get my fittings figured out. This is a G Plus. It's those, you know, everybody's seen them on eBay, but it's a super large capacity multi-pass heavy duty transmission cooler with fan that I'm going to be mounting underneath the Blazer, kind of behind where the driver's seat is or where your passenger's feet would sit on the floorboard. I'm going to mount this underneath there, 2 inches from the bottom of the vehicle, which will require, I'm going to make a bracket. You guys will see that. That's no big deal. But I'm trying to get my fittings figured out because I'm going to need 2 straights and 2 maybe 90s coming out of the transmission to loop back around the tail shaft area of the transmission to go to the new cooler location. Here's, okay, maybe I'll get burned for this, I don't know. I wanted to try the new Walbro 525 liter per hour Hellcat pump. The more research I did on it, the more I got kind of gun shy with pulling the trigger and trying to order one, because apparently the Walbro pumps are some of the most knocked off pumps on the market. So rather than take the chance of buying a cheap pump and not getting what I want, because if you research these 525 pumps, you'll see a lot of people saying, oh, I bought those, you know, I went through 4 of them in one summer, or, you know, I crapped out 2 of them and I switched to some other brand or whatever. What I was able to find out was that most, if not all of those complaints was because people were buying the cheap eBay knockoffs of both the 525 and the 450 pumps. They're like super, you know, super common to find those made with plastic gears and all kinds of different inferior products inside of it. So what I do, I just bit the bullet, went ahead and spent the $220 through Walbro and ordered an official Walbro 525 Hellcat pump with installation kit. And that's another thing you'll notice on eBay. If they don't have this specific installation with this weather pack, like build your own weather pack connector, if it doesn't have all these parts, there's a real good chance that's not a real Walbro pump. Now, I'm not saying you're going to buy it and it's going to fail, but I'm just kind of throwing out there that there's been a lot of people who's had some problems with some of the Walbros. So I thought, you know, let's just go straight to the source and buy a real one. So that's what I end up doing, because I don't want to have to be messing with this thing all the time. I already have -6 feed and return lines on the vehicle and a hot wire kit. So I should be good to just hook this thing up to a 30 amp relay and she should be good to go. So like I said, I do have more parts that I ordered, but they just have not come in yet. Who knows? I don't know if they're delayed because of the virus situation or what, but I know I've gotten emails saying your order is being shipped. I may have to dig back through all my order receipts on the email and kind of see if I can do some tracking on some of those parts. So I would suspect a lot of them are going to come in tomorrow on Saturday. But anyway, I just want to let you guys know that I did order a bunch of parts to upgrade the Blazer and get things rolling so we can see it rolling down the road under its own power at some point. If you guys have any suggestions or know anything about some of these parts I've purchased, or something, you know, warn me if there's something I need to be aware of. I'm open to all that stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Please like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you feel like is appropriate. But I just wanted to kind of show you some of the stuff I had. You guys stay safe out there. Have fun if you can.